Welcome to the playoffs edition of VCT Americas for people in a hurry. Today, I'm doing something a little different to prepare for Champions Seoul. Instead of doing a summary of every single Americas game, I'm only going to cover the best of the maps and matches. This does mean I'll be skipping a series or two, but don't worry, there were some real stinkers, and if I skip it here, it wasn't worth talking about anyways. With that being said, please take a second to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Now let's get started. The first match of the week was Crew vs Cloud9. The first map was Abyss, and thanks to some heroics from Heat, Crew took the map 13-11. Heat got 10 multi-frags this map, 8 double kills, a triple kill, and a quad kill, ending the map with a plus 14 KD. But what I really want to talk about is map 2, Lotus. Crew won a single round on their defense half, 11-1 for Cloud9. They needed 2 rounds to even things up 1-1. They got the first in round 15 off of Crew's bonus round. Then, they lost 8 rounds in a row. Crew brought the game from 11-1, hell, from 12-3 to 12-11. They needed one more round to secure overtime and a chance to win the series 2-0. And they just couldn't do it. Cloud9 barely survived an 11-1 comeback to take the map 13-11. Once again, Heat lit up the scoreboard with a plus 10 KD and 5 first kills to no first deaths. The decider isn't worth talking about too much. Crew took the first half 9-3, and Cloud9 couldn't replicate the miracle comeback, losing out 13-6. Heat was by far the highest fragger, going plus 29 across the 3 maps, compared to the highest fragger on C9, Moose, who ended the series with an even KD. And so, we said goodbye to C9 until next year.
Ryan, please fix the schedule.
The first game we're skipping is Sen vs 100 Thieves. Sen lost 2-0. Asuna carried on Haven, and Bang went Super Saiyan on Ascent. Oh, and Cryo got an ace in round 15. I just wanted to mention the game because apparently John QT was in physical pain during the match and had to go to urgent care afterwards. I don't know anything else about the situation, but it's a shame what's been going on for Sen behind the scenes these past few weeks. Next up, we have Leviatán vs Crew. Next up, we have G2 vs 100 Thieves. Map 1 isn't worth talking about aside from both duelists kinda sucking for some reason. Abyss was better. The most interesting thing was G2's comp, playing Yoru and Astra, 2 lesser picked agents, especially in the Americas League. Anyways, G2 won the series 2-0. Now, I'll quickly touch on G2 vs Leviatán in the upper final. Leviatán really underperformed. They won 2 rounds in the first half of Icebox, and though they made some headway in the second half, G2 handily won 13-8. As for Bind, it was almost a 2v5, with Aspas and King having the same number of kills or more as Mizuno, Tex, and Com combined. They lost the map 13-6 and the series 2-0. Down to the lower bracket, we have 100 Thieves versus Crew. Whoever wins is into champs. Whoever loses is out for good. 100 Thieves took Icebox 13-9. Cryo carried with 27 kills, and EU diffed his Sova counterpart of MTA, going 5-0 in their head-to-head. Lotus was very close all throughout, with rounds bouncing back and forth between the teams until Crew barely squeezed out a 13-11 win. Again, Asuna was 100 Thieves' weak link on Lotus, but either way, the Thieves should have won this map. They threw the last round with the strangest A setup I've honestly ever seen, just 3 of them sitting in the open, losing their duels. As for Ascent, 100T once again stood for 100 throws. They took the game 11-7 and lost out in spectacular fashion 11-13 in Crew's favor. MTA made up for his poor performance on Icebox, clutching and fragging when his team needed him. This wasn't even anyone's fault, 100 Thieves just kept losing clutches. And so, Crew made it to champs, maintaining their history of attending every Champions event since the game's inception. This brings us to the first best of 5 of the video, Leviatán vs Crew, the rematch. And holy hell, it was a banger. Lev took Icebox 13-3 with an 11-1 first half, but Crew kept their mental and took the next map, Haven, 13-11. We saw a rare poor performance from Aspas, and Kesnet diffed him, going +4 in their head-to-head, and dropping 27 kills in the map. Next, we saw an upset stomp from Crew on Sunset. Everyone thought Lev was going to take the win handily, but instead, Crew took a 9-3 first half and won out 13-7. Aspas struggled again, going 6-17, one of his worst performances of all time. But he bounced right back on map 4, Abyss. He dropped 24 kills and 8 first kills to only 1 first death, with 2 quad kills, one of which won Leviatán the map in round 23, 13-10, and they tied the series 2-2. One of the funniest moments in playoffs happened this map too, with Kesnet getting a kill from below the map as he was drifting to his death. The decider brought us to Ascent, and it was an attacker-sided game, with Lev going 8-4 in the first half, with an ace in round 3 from Tex. Crew brought it back on their attack side, tying the map 10-10, but Leviatán took it over the line 13-10 and won a hard-fought best of 5, 3-2, advancing to the finals for a rematch against G2. Speaking of, everyone expected G2 to take the series easily due to their dominant performance against Lev in the upper final. Well, let me just say Leviatán had other plans. Map 1 of Lotus brought us to overtime for the first time this playoffs, but Mazzino and Aspas were dead set on victory. Leviatán took the map 15-13. Mazzino ruled the world, ending with 34 kills, 5 double kills, 4 triple kills, and a quad kill too. Aspas was hot on his heels with 27 kills, while Valen, the top frag for G2, did his best to keep up, but only managed 23. Haven was another huge game. Nearly everyone was at 20 kills or more, and Com almost dropped the 30 bomb, ending at 28. Again, we saw overtime, and rounds went back and forth until Lev managed to string some together to win the map 16-14. Bind brought us another crazy game. Honestly, this whole series was just huge moments and crazy scorelines. Finally, we got a win in regulation time. Leviatán took the first half 8-4. It looked like the monsters of G2 would lose out 3-0 in this playoffs. We went into the next half, and Leviatán only won a single round? What? Truly, this game was a game of post plans. 14 of the 22 rounds, or 14 of the 17 defensive round wins, were won in the post plant by defusing the spike. And it just turned out that G2's post plants were immaculate. They won 9 of the 10 rounds in the second half, and took the map 13-9. Leaf turned up with 25 kills, and Icy was on his tail with 21. On to map 4, Ascent. All I have to say is rest in peace G2. They got 4 rounds on defense, and they got 0 on attack. Leviatán, in an upset win, take the grand finals 3-1 with 2 crazy overtime finishes, a huge comeback from G2, and ending it all with a stomp from Leviatán. On Ascent, nobody on G2 even went positive, while everyone on Lev had double-digit kills. Aspas went +15, and King went +10. Somehow Valen still managed 5 first kills to 0 first deaths, but it just wasn't enough to even make the map competitive. And so, Leviatán are crowned the 2024 VCT Americas Stage 2 champions and are gifted the first seed for Champions Seoul. And just like that, my VCT Americas for People in a Hurry series is over. But don't worry, this isn't the last you'll see from me. Stay tuned in a few days for my Champions Group Stage Pick'ems, where I'll be going over my top picks, underdogs, and how I think everything will go down. But until then, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.